3, 2.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic, episode 176. How's everyone doing out there on this beautiful June 10th, 2026, Wednesday afternoon? Guys, thanks for being patient with us. We weren't here last week. A lot of stuff going on, but we have a huge show today. World Cup, NBA Finals, hockey. Stanley Cup is just unbelievable. If you're not watching that, we're going to talk that. But guys, we're going to talk a lot of World Cup. I just said in a video to all you degens out there that you're going to gamble on it. You and I both know you're going to gamble on it, and you have no idea what you're doing, how to gamble, right? You're going to think you want to bet, but you push the bet. We're going to take care of all. Yeah, there he is, our first degen. Michael Brown, who's going to gamble on it. We have that taken care of. We got the guru. But before we go into that, I just want to say, guys, there's only one rule to this show, and that is not to be a loser, right? We're going to talk a lot of gambling lines. We're going to talk a lot of World Cup. We're going to give you some advice. Just be responsible in your gambling. Don't be a jackass. Don't be a loser. That is the only. You hear that, Michael Brown? Don't do any of those. But guys, without further ado, let's get into our introductions. We have Eddie Money, executive producer. What up, man?
What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? I feel like you should have a stadium, Estadio Santiago or something in the background, a World Cup. Maybe.
Estadio Azteca.
There you go. There you go. I was thinking of something about Mary, where he pretended he built that stadium in Chile. Oh, yeah, I've been there twice. He made up a stadium. That was hilarious. But we have Rafa the Guru, man, right? And Rafa is back in town. He is the guru. Look at that, dude. Just crisp and clean. Bro, what year is that? What year World Cup did you win that? I didn't know Cuba had won the World Cup.
That's the Lego World Cup that my nephew put together.
Dude, that's badass. I just thought it was pixelated. I thought it was a real thing. That is gorgeous. And speaking of that, man, it's a special episode. I mean, the whole North America continent is just buzzing, and World Cup is always huge, right? It's always big. But because I think it was here. Was it here in 84?
94.
94. I just feel like it's just bigger. This might be the best team that the USA's ever had. But, Rafa, what do you think, man? How are you doing today? How's the family? I see, how's life? Basically, people want to know.
Everything's good. And we have fucking less than 21 hours until the World Cup kicks off. So
yeah, man, exciting. I know your brother, your son. We have a group chat there. I mean, it just feels a little bit different. I think Rafa, you are going to be in attendance for some games, I believe.
2 games.
Hopefully,
2 games. We're gonna see Uruguay play, and then we're gonna see Brazil play after that.
Wow, that is a big deal. Have you ever been to a World Cup game before?
No, I went to 2 preliminary matches in the same day, in the same place back in '94 in the Coliseum, which was Mexico and Colombia and Brazil and the United States.
Oh my God!
But those were like prelim warm-ups to that World Cup.
But did everyone play? I mean, they're called friendlies, right? But
yeah, but I remember Romario playing. I remember Jorge Campos playing for Mexico. Nice. I remember seeing Kobe Jones and Alexi Lalas and Valderrama for Colombia.
Dude, the hair. That World Cup is a big hair thing. The bigger the hair, the more, it's almost like your personality, right? I don't know why. We all know that, football players, when I say football, we're talking, soccer players. They have the best fades on the planet. It's like
they also have the weirdest fades.
True.
Because they're like, some of these guys like from these random fucking places and they get the weirdest shit because they saw it, fucking on the NBA court or some shit. And then they want to mimic it. And it's like, dude, what the fuck happened?
Dude, NBA hair is out of control. Don't ever compare NBA hair to World Cup or Champions
I'm just saying
League
that's
hair.
where their inspiration comes from.
Oh, okay.
And then they mimic it in just all sorts of weird, different fucking ways.
Yeah, man. You guys are gonna see some also tattoos. I believe football players have some of the best tattoos out there. Because you have, there's a lot of great artists all over the world, tattoo artists, and a lot of the inspiration comes from Europe. Brazil has, Colombia has some great artists. France has some great artists. I hate to, this is, I don't know why I'm getting into tattoos and fades. That wasn't part of what I wanted to talk about. It just came up to the top of my head. But just saying, you're going to see a lot of cool stuff. We're very excited. Eddie Money, are you in Estadio Azteca yet?
I am. I really don't know where I'm in, but
is that
this is the 2022 World Cup final stadium?
Oh, you're like in Saudi then, Papa, right?
Oh,
or you're in like Kuwait or
Qatar.
Qatar, there you go.
Oh yeah.
Yes, with the Duff beer in the background.
The beer floating.
There you go, man. Eddie, how you doing, man? How's life in the big city?
Good.
Dude, I saw Eddie Money at my house. It was very alarming. I woke up and went to, because Sonny was in town and they went to go eat Korean barbecue. I haven't seen Eddie Money live in person in quite a while. He's a large human being, Rafa. He's a large human being.
He's a big old dude.
He's a big old dude. But other than that, Eddie Money, how's life in the big city?
Chilling. Still working on trying to get a big boy job.
Dude, this is
expending all my resources.
This is as big boy as it gets right here, man. Trying to carry us too. But guys, if you don't know the deal already, we're going to get into our first segment called You Are Fired. And this is the time for everyone to get involved. It's an interactive show, so talk your shit. The more you guys interact, the more fun we have. The more the shit you talk, the more shit we talk. And we're going to have a good old time. This segment's called You're Fired. And if you want to fire somebody, you want to hire somebody, now is your shot. Does anyone want to kick off You're Fired this week?
Well, CJ already started in the comments. And if you want I can read it. It says, yes, I got a firing. These dumbass Europeans who don't understand how big America is. You aren't about to sit here and trek from NYC to MetLife, although I believe MetLife is
in New York.
In New York.
It's Jersey.
It isn't, yeah. So you will be able to trek that with no problem. He goes, America is the size of Europe, and we're better than them at everything there is to be better than them at. Fuck Europe. Well, we are better than them. Yes.
Definitely not in football.
Just not at this. So we are better than them, just not at this sport, right? That's other than that, I think we're better than them at everything else. Just this sport, which is we're not better than them at. So, but I agree with CJ. There's been a lot of fucking complainers because they think, when you look at some of these games, right? Like Brazil, I know Brazil's last game, which is the game that we're going to, their last group game is in Miami. But I think their first game, if I'm not mistaken, I believe is in New Jersey, right? Mm-hmm. So, and that's what CJ means. Like, these people you're not going to be able to hop on a train from New Jersey down to Miami to watch it. Like you can get on a train from fucking, when you get on a train from fucking, whatever, Paris to fucking Madrid or whatever it is, right? Like it's just that's not how the United States works.
Hakatomi Plaza in the chat. What is Hakatomi Plaza? Remember when I was shoulder to shoulder with Neymar?
Yeah, I believe that was at the Fontainebleau.
It was, and you froze,
and not a
like
word
the-
was said.
Not a
Yeah,
word
but
was
him
said.
freezing in front of a professional athlete, that runs in the family.
Ah,
That
it's true.
runs in the
You guys
fam.
froze on completely different levels, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I've frozen on Bryce Young and Brad Johnson. Neymar, one of the biggest athletes in the world. So we're gonna give you a pass on that, Jacob. We're gonna give you a pass because you might have taken that gene from me. But Rafa, let me ask you this question. Talking about CJ's firing, and you would know this better than me. Has there ever been a host continent? Like, has Europe ever hosted, like, because like CJ said, and I could be wrong, but I don't remember one. Like, this is the equivalent of us, the North America hosting, and then having a game in Germany and then one in like Italy. Am
Yeah,
I
so
right?
the only one that I remember that they dual hosted was Japan Korea, which was in 2002. Like that, I remember because both of the countries hosted, right? But other than that, I don't remember. I think what CJ meant was like, we're as big as your entire fucking continent. So imagine your tiny ass country where you're able to get up and down and fucking travel from Lille to Paris or from whatever.
Yeah.
If Spain hosted, you'd be able to get from Barcelona to Madrid on a train in fucking 2 hours. Like
It has
here,
not.
that shit ain't happened.
It has not been done, but also the upcoming 2030 World Cup will feature matches across 3 continents: Europe, Africa, and South America.
Why do that, Rafa? Why not just do Italy, France, and Spain? I mean, I feel like, or even England. You don't have to spread it out, and that way people could actually take trains to games. Like that seems more sensible to me. Doesn't that sound? I mean, that is the hub of soccer, anyways, right? Imagine England, France, Italy, Spain. Just use those countries. I mean, it'd probably be logistical nightmare because of passports and shit. But that seems like that would be incredible, no?
Like for me, I think the way they should do it is kind of like the way the NFL does the Super Bowl a little bit, right? Like LA gets the Super Bowl every 4 or 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because it's a perfect host city, you can get around. There's plenty of access to get around, although it's a shit show. But there's plenty of hotels. Vegas is hosted, New York is hosted, Miami is hosted, Louisiana, Atlanta, right? And it kind of just stays in that little circle, right? So I think what the World Cup should do is maybe, host 1 year, let's just say France, for example, right? And then the next World Cup, okay, then we can do a South American country. Then we return to Europe for another one. And then after that, you maybe return to South America, one more to Europe, and then shoot it back over to North America, and then give the Asian countries a chance in there once every, 6 World Cups or whatever. But I think the focal point should be Europe and South America. Those countries are easier for people to go in and visit and get in and out, and because there's different means of transportation. Here, we don't use a train. That's for fucking New Yorkers. And people on the East Coast. On the West Coast, we're much more civilized and smarter, and we learn how to drive at such an early age because we have bigger brains than the East Coast.
Dude, are you kidding me? The Japanese bullet train? Come on.
I'm talking about the East Coast people in the United States, Eddie. I'm not talking about the other countries. I'm just talking about people on the East Coast of the United States.
Okay, got it.
No, those countries.
Okay.
I see, Japan.
I see.
And by the way, Japan and Korea, which hosted in 2002, 24 years ago, they should be up for another bid. Give them another chance. I know Qatar hosted, which is the Middle East, Asia, whatever. But maybe give Japan, Korea a chance in 2034 to host, and that would be great because they have great public transportation.
Yeah, word up, man. Look at us. Talking.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Look at us. Anybody? Do you have any firings or hirings?
I'm gonna hire the UFC on Sunday for making such a great card for everyone to watch. Not a huge fan of the location in terms of like political wise, but really excited for the event.
So it's coming this Sunday.
Yeah, it's on Flag Day.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. It was at the White House. Yes.
Yeah, very excited to see Alex Pereira fight.
It's so crazy, right? People are so I mean, obviously we are a divided country. I don't, I don't see. I think it's cool as well. I really do. I think it's a cool deal. Uh, I hope the card is great. I hope the show is great. UFC cards have not been great as of late, although the Sean Strickland fight I thought was really good. Uh, that was cool. But yeah, I'm excited, very excited to see what that's going to look like. We want to see a grand show. I still haven't seen a better show, UFC show, than that the Sphere. That the background, that was the dopest thing I had ever seen for the UFC. And I don't know why it hasn't been back. I think it was Mexican Independence Day they did it on last year.
Yeah,
and
it was in
Yeah.
September.
wasn't that great? I mean, dude, that was a show. That was incredible.
Well, you guys know I don't give a fuck about UFC, so I don't give a fuck about this UFC coming up.
Okay.
Throwing it out there.
Man.
All right.
Just throwing it out there.
Michael Brown, anyone you want to fire? Because I'm going to give my firing, and it's a topic. I want to fire the entire city of Manhattan, New York, anywhere. If you were involved with that disgusting display of humanity, if you don't know, if you were living under a rock, the Spurs beat the Knicks at Madison Square Garden in Game 3. Great game. The series has been extremely entertaining. I love the brand of basketball that's going down. We'll talk about that later. But there's been multiple events of guys with Spurs jerseys trying to get home or whatever. I mean, it's not the smartest thing to do, but at the same time, no one has any right to touch another human being because they either root for another team or it's just no excuse. And it's hard to put blame on the Knicks, but I am going to put blame on the culture of New York. I love going to New York. I know Rafa's not a huge fan. It's just there's a pulse to it. There's a liveliness about it. But what we saw, and it's been multiple things, and what I heard, there was a couple of them that people are trying to they were like legit streamers trying to cause shit. But the couple that I did see were definitely not, staged, and New York fans basically beat the shit out of Spurs fans trying to either get back to their house, whatever. And there's just no excuse for it. I hope and pray that the rest of the world, which is coming here, right, and watching games, that we would know better. And not only the idiots that got involved in those altercations, but I want to call out the people that just stood back and filmed. And Rafa, I don't know if you remember this. I wanted to tell this story. It was one of the first games after COVID at the Allegiant Stadium, and it was Seattle versus the Raiders. And I think it was the actual very first game that fans were allowed. We're leaving, right? And Raider fans have bad reputations. There was no problem. And we were walking back over the bridge. The game had ended. Pretty sure, positive that the Raiders lost. And there was a family, husband, wife, grandfather, about 7 or 8 of them, all in Seattle Seahawks gears. And we could hear a couple drunk guys looking for a fight, talking shit, being loud. And we basically surrounded. There was like 5 or 6 of us, Ralph. I don't know if you were there. You might have left already. But we surrounded this family and said, this ain't going to happen, man. You're not going to talk shit to this family that came to Vegas. They weren't being disrespectful. They were minding their own business, and we basically protected them. And I bring it up because I didn't see anybody trying to protect these people. And it's hard to believe out of that big group, everyone's a follower, right? Not a leader. I would hope to have seen people actually trying to protect this guy, Knick fans. I had to call it out because it was so disturbing. And the next time this happened, I'm hoping New Yorkers and Knick fans would protect these people that didn't deserve to get their jerseys ripped off, to get beaten up. They're just trying to get home. Rafa, you have an opinion on that?
No, I agree with you, Eddie, because I'm the type of person that I don't give a shit what people say. There's nothing that you can ever say to anybody. No words can ever do any damage. And if they do damage to you, then you're just a fucking pussy. And that's the thing. If nobody physically touches you, then you shouldn't have to resort to violence ever. Like that's just me. That's just my opinion. So for these guys to get their ass whooped like that is brutal. A friend of mine who you know, Eddie, his cousin was killed at Dodger Stadium because he was a Giants fan many years ago. And so I don't know if you know that story, but you know his cousin because you play golf with him.
Yeah. I do know the story.
And so his cousin was killed at Dodger Stadium for being a Giant, just for being a Giants fan. And I've seen that when I used to go to Dodger games, you know, young kid with his grandfather, and that happened to him. They were Giants fans. So it sucks to see. They didn't get, but just people, they talk shit and all that because the alcohol is running through their fucking bloodstream and fucking, they act like fucking morons. So, but I wanted to address Michael Brown's question here about DJ Khaled being on the phone. Is that a thing? Like people are upset about that?
What was he on his phone doing?
Okay,
so every time, Khaled sat courtside next to Fat Joe, and if you follow Khaled like on Instagram or anything, I used to follow him. I don't think I follow him anymore. At least I don't see his shit. So I'm not sure if I follow him. But if you ever watch, like, he's not a sports guy. He's just not. He'll go up to a Heat game, or he lives in Miami. If he goes to a Heat game, fine. He goes to a Heat game. I don't know if he cares about it. Like, he probably, have you ever seen him shoot a basketball? Like, just watch him hit a golf ball is brutal, right? So he didn't give a fuck, and it's crucial points in the game. And you watch him like I don't know who was shooting a free throw, and you look over and they're showing Fat Joe locked in on the free throw shooter, and Khaled's just down on his phone. And every time the camera kind of passed by there, and they weren't focusing in on him or anything, but they're courtside, so you're watching the game. You see the guy. Yeah. He's literally just face down in his phone, which I don't give a shit about. He paid whatever the fuck he paid for the seats. Maybe Fat Joe paid for him. Who cares? He wanted to be there. He had the money to be there. Who gives a fuck? I'd rather see him on his phone than watch Spike Lee fucking yelling at the ref. There was one play where he might have yelled at the ref for 6 seconds. Cat and it might have been Cornette or maybe even Wemby going kind of just hand fighting each other, and Spike Lee's just fucking yelling like a little girl at the ref for about 6 seconds, and then finally it gets called. And so I'd rather see DJ Khaled on his phone than watch Spike Lee jumping around like a fucking asshole.
Yeah, Michael Brown. So it's funny because I didn't think anyone sort of noticed or cared, but I do remember seeing it all game. Remember all game. He was in his phone, and I did think, dude, that's kind of annoying. But I didn't think about it twice until I recognized the next day that everyone had an opinion about it. And by the way, he's a Miami Heat fan, I believe. But like you said, that whole thing, and I don't know do you follow Moses the jeweler?
No, I don't follow him.
Yeah, he's a big New York jeweler, young guy, very charismatic, gives away a ton of shit, and he's been at all the games, all playoff long. And he said he went live, and he's like, they need to lower the prices They said it was very corporate. I mean, what were courtside, like 160,000 or
The thing is, it's like, see, people who make those comments to me are fucking stupid, because like Ben Stiller has a courtside seat the entire year, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
he's not paying 150,000 for his ticket.
yeah,
He's paying whatever the cost is that the team is pricing the ticket at, right?
yeah.
So the team's probably pricing the ticket at 25 grand, but he has right to that seat because that's his seat the entire year, as Spike Lee, as so on and so on and so on. So the resellers are the ones when playoff tickets come out and finals tickets come out and all that, those aren't these prices. If you've ever had season tickets to any sport or any team, and you will see that your playoff costs go up a little bit. If you're paying $500 for a seat, your playoff cost is probably about $650. It's not fucking your seat $500 and it went up to $2,500. No, it's $2,500 on the resale market. So, and of course, it got corporate a little bit because those seats courtside or those seats down low or whatever, the only people that can afford them are either fucking, millionaires, billionaires, or corporations that are going to spend the money to send their people or whatever. So I think, listen, at the end of the day, the Knicks haven't been to the finals since '99, right?
Yeah.
There's a shit ton of money in New York. There's a shit ton of business owners that are from New York that love the Knicks, love the Yankees, whatever. They're going to pay. And since they're going to pay, that's what the price is going to be. So don't think because you sat courtside in fucking February against the fucking Charlotte Hornets for $7,000 that you're going to sit in the NBA Finals courtside for even 3 times that. It's just not happening. You're not going to get to sit next to Fat Joe and watch DJ Khaled reply to shit on Instagram for fucking 25 grand. It's just not happening.
It was man, it was a who's who, man. I mean, you had Kraft, right? Chalamet, I mean, Jeter right there. It was a really cool setting. It was a really good game. You know what I loved, Rafa? I know you're watching it because we're talking about the pregame show. The pregame show, you had, Patrick Ewing. Who else did you have on that pregame show?
You had the commissioner was on there as well.
The commissioner, another really good, I forget who, but it was, they crush it with that pregame show. And can I say this? Can I say that Draymond Green doesn't belong there? I don't know why it bothers me. I'm not a big Draymond guy, but there's already enough personality there. I feel like it's like they're forcing him on us. That show is perfect. That mix is perfect. Draymond, I don't need him there. I don't need him pregame. I don't need him halftime, and I don't need him postgame. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He gets booed everywhere he goes. Chuck was hated, right? But he had a personality to him. Like, Draymond's not funny. I don't know. That's just my feelings. Do you?
It doesn't bother me. I just, for me, Draymond being there doesn't bother me. It just gives you another, kind of an active player's, the thing is, who are you going to bring on? Jaylen Brown has no fucking personality. Jason Tatum has no personality. Steph Curry he's too famous to do it. So you need someone who has personality and is kind of a mid-level star, you can say, right? And so you think Clay's going to come out after banging, 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s all year long? You think he's got time to fucking spend over there at the NBA Finals? No. So who are you going to get? Durant's not going to do it. He's too big of a star.
Can I tell you this?
Got to deal with Prime or whatever. It's all sorts of shit. But
dude,
I don't know if you heard, but when Charles Barkley was talking about Tim Duncan this pregame, and he goes, "The best power forward of all time," just straight out, boom.
I heard it.
Like, just so you know, Draymond, that you're not better. And then boom, straight to Duncan.
I heard it. It was great. It was great. The other thing Chuck did is when Cardi B was performing, is like, that doesn't look like Cardi B. That looks like Cardi D's.
Yeah, I was listening to that live, and I was like, is this live? Is this real?
He's so good, man. He's so great. But then, okay, so we have that. I think you said it, Rafa. I want to see Steph. I think Steph would be the perfect guy to do that. Because I think that's what bothers me is that Draymond really feels, and you know this, Draymond really feels, and he was a big part of those championships. I'm not saying that he wasn't a big part of those championships. What I'm saying is he wasn't the catalyst. Like, if it wasn't for Steph and Clay and Durant, he doesn't get those rings. And I just feel like Dre thinks he's that dude.
I don't know, man. I have a different feeling about Draymond. I don't care for him as a person, but I think on the court, to me, I think he was very important for them because he carried a lot of the burden of bringing up the basketball, especially in crucial moments in the game. He's a great decision maker off the ball. He was phenomenal. Like, to me, as just a basketball player, like a guy who can defend and rebound and yada, 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 all of that, they needed that. They didn't have anybody else. Like, Clay was great in his prime, right? He was great. Yeah. Like, if they don't have Draymond, they don't win the finals in 2022 or whatever it was.
I agree.
Like, to me, I don't think they win that without Draymond because Clay wasn't that elite defender, right? And they had Iguodala that first, go around, but they needed Draymond because Iguodala was a lot, he was fading and older or whatever. So I'm not going to discredit Draymond. He doesn't have, I think what you kind of want to say is like, he doesn't have that mystique that he has.
Yes.
Right? Like, you're not Scottie Pippen. You're not that. That's what it is. You're not those guys.
You're not even like, Patrick Ewing.
You're more like a better, if we're just looking at it, not as players, just as kind of part of the kind of the part of the dynasty. You're closer to Derek Fisher than you would Scottie Pippen, which is fucked up to say. But you were technically the third best player on the team, and most of the time, the fourth best player on the team. Although the defensive catalyst for the team, I think so.
Huge plays. So let's get into it. So
hold on, because Jacob has a firing. Jacob wants to fire the NBA. Just end already. I'm ready to watch Vinny Jr. put on a masterclass, which he has yet to do for the Brazilian national team, by the way.
I agree.
I mean, can there be any more of a fucking letdown than him at this point?
And I feel like he's on the downside, right, of his career. Or do you think
he shouldn't be?
He shouldn't be?
He shouldn't be.
But he hasn't lived up. He just hasn't.
Oh, no.
Hell
no. No. Yeah. He hasn't lived up to any of those Brazilian players before him. He hasn't even and listen, we can say that Neymar didn't live up to me, because I was having this argument with these guys earlier about Neymar. I love Neymar. Neymar's probably my third favorite Brazilian player of all time. But do I think he's up there? I don't. And Vinny has done less than that with the national team. Like, I think he should be so much better. Can this be his breakout in the World Cup for the Brazilian national team? We've seen what he can do at Real Madrid. Although with Mbappe there, I don't know. It hasn't worked out the way we thought it was going to work out.
Yeah.
But can he have the breakout for the Brazilian team? Can he put together 5 or 6 goals in this World Cup? Can he do that? That's what he needs to do to kind of elevate himself. We've seen Mbappe. He has 12 World Cup goals in 2 World Cups. Like, we've seen that from him. We've seen it from players past that have been able. We saw, Diego Forlan. We've seen Luis Suarez. We've seen all those guys be able to score. We've seen Neymar be able to score in a World Cup, carry Brazil to a semifinal, et cetera, et cetera. We've yet to see that from Vinny. Not in the fucking Gold Cup. Not in any of those. Not in any of that. We haven't seen it yet. Will he do it? We'll see. I hope he does.
I hope he does too. So, Jacob, that being said, your firing is not approved, because we're going to continue to talk NBA. By the way, we've had great finals games. Oh my God, it's an amazing series. It's an amazing series.
Listen, you're getting stops. You're getting buckets. It's not just they're running up and down and shooting threes. This is so different from the NBA regular season. It's not even close. you're getting, the haters of the NBA, you're carrying it over, and I think it's bullshit.
I have an opinion on it, but this is a long conversation. Everyone that pregame, right? Everyone was giddy. Spike Lee was giddy. Like he was like, they thought they were going to win that game. There was no question. I think New York, they're on a 13-game winning streak. They don't lose in the Garden. I think they lost maybe 1 or 2 games in the entire playoffs. But Wemby has that dog in him, man. And Castle, I was so impressed. Not only with his defense, he is making Brunson work so hard on the offensive end. He hasn't had that breakout game yet. But to me, Rafa,
which is scary, by the way, that the Knicks are up 2-1 in the series. Brunson hasn't had one of those games yet. Yeah. And the Knicks fans can keep saying that. Like, we're up 2-1. Put it this way. If the Knicks lose tonight, they can still think, and the fans who are moronic and stupid, will keep saying, well, Brunson hasn't had a great game yet. He's still putting up 30 plus, right?
Yeah.
So to me, what I think has done the Spurs in, which is why I think they're down, which is why I believe they're down 2-1, is because of the head coach. Because the game in game 2, when Wemby rebounds that ball, it's quick timeout. It literally is. You have a young basketball team. None of those guys on the floor have ever been in these moments. Yeah, they had a game 7 against Oklahoma, and that was all great. And a Thunder team that was hurt and wasn't at full strength. To me, I think timeouts, they're being misused by the Spurs head coach. I strongly believe that. And and I think that can do him in. That did him in the second quarter of game 3, where he lets them go on a run. They're up 9 or they're up 11, and they end up going on a 9-0 run, and you don't call a timeout, and you're having turnover. You're missing shots. It's like, call a timeout and regroup.
I think right now it's the battle of the turnovers. Whoever has the least amount of turnovers wins the game. I will give this a coach, an NBA coach that can make his team play defense, I believe, is a good coach. I agree with you on the timeouts. It's a lot easier to coach defense when you have the single most defensive disruptor on the planet. I mean, he is not only changing shots, but guys don't even think. I mean, guys run through the paint and just run right through it. I mean, Wemby, they're playing a very, very physical style of basketball. To me, Rafa, I like it. I think it's a throwback. It's not, 3-and-D. And my opinion on this, Rafa, and I thought about this. I heard something today. This is going back. It was very different when Steph and maybe the greatest team, what was it, 2000, the Warriors.
Which team, though? Because the 73-win team, they didn't win, but they didn't have Durant. I think the team after that, the next year, I think that was the best team.
Yeah. Everyone sort of started to adopt that style of analytics, take as many threes as possible. This is different. This is a different type of basketball. And I'm enjoying it. I like Castle getting to the hole. I like Brunson getting to the hole, passing it out. So I am enjoying this immensely. Who do you have winning tonight, Rafa? What's the line on this, Eddie Money?
So the Knicks are favored. The Knicks are favored by 2. I think the Spurs win tonight. I think they've been.
I do too.
I think the Spurs win tonight. I think what they did, to start game 3, going to Wemby early. I think he had 9 in the first quarter. Will they get 15 or 17 from Castle again in the first half? Probably not. But I think, I think getting Wemby involved early, the foul trouble the Knicks had in the second half. To start the fourth quarter, in the first minute and 2 seconds, the Knicks had 3 fouls already in a minute 2 to start the fourth. They were complaining a lot about it. And the thing was, the game was so physical in the first half that the refs weren't going to let that carry on into the second half, right? Like, it's just not, because then shit ends up popping off, and you have guys, and then guys get suspended and all sorts of stupid shit that you don't want in an NBA finals. Right?
Yeah.
So you got to kind of nip it in the butt a little bit. So I think the Spurs, though, I think win tonight. And to me, the key was, and I was watching the game, and I'm watching it with Ralphie, and I'm telling him, De'Aaron Fox, he had been hesitant the first couple of games, and he was hesitant to start game 3 because he missed a shot, and it was ugly, and then he missed another shot and another shot. And I said, if he doesn't score, because you're going to need him, and you're going to need him, not only late, you're going to need him in between.
Yeah.
When Castle needs a rest, when Harper's not out there, etc. De'Aaron Fox has to be confident, and he wasn't confident in game 2, which is why they lost. Besides the turnover at the end, Fox had a chance to win that game, and so I think De'Aaron Fox is a big deal. As important as Castle is, and obviously we know how important Wemby is. I think De'Aaron Fox has to be your next guy. And if I'm close, and Harper's been phenomenal off the bench, right?
Yeah.
He's been great, amazing fucking rookie, right? But to me, I think De'Aaron at the end of the game, and this is where the Spurs fucked up in game 2 because they couldn't close. They didn't call timeout. You need to be able to close. And to me, the close has to be De'Aaron Fox in a pick and roll situation with Wemby or Castle in a pick and roll situation with Wemby. I think I think Fox is a better pure shooter than Castle, which is why I think that should be the pick and roll in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. And it shouldn't vie from that should be it. This is what we're running for the last fucking 2 minutes if the game is close. But Wemby has to assert some sort of dominance down low. And I know he's skinny. He's huge, though. Throw the ball 10 feet in the air. Guess who's the only motherfucker getting it? Him.
Yeah. And I feel like they're defending him well. If they don't double him, they're just throwing it up and he's making stuff happen. I agree with you on De'Aaron Fox. I do feel like Volpe. My God, that's the whole thing, Michael Brown. I know he's not 100%, right? But I am shocked because we've seen what kind of basketball player he could be, and he's definitely not doing that. And I don't know if it's because of injury. I don't know if it's because
I think it's confidence, Eddie. I think when you watch him, if that first basket doesn't go, if that first shot doesn't go down, there's just something about him, and I saw it in the first handful of games. So, but the stat was, which is crazy, is how good Cat has defended Wemby, and he's defended him phenomenal. And there's two things that kind of have been telling so far in the series. Cat's defended Wemby really, really good, especially the first 2 games. Last game, not so much. And then the other stat, which is wild, is what the shooting percentage when Wemby is on the floor for the Knicks is under 40%. It's like 38%. When Wemby's off the floor, that shooting percentage goes past 51%.
Yeah, I heard that.
Which is a big deal. And listen, the Knicks didn't play good in game 3. The Spurs they didn't play out of their mind. The Knicks didn't play good. And the Knicks got an elite game from Josh Hart. I doubt that he can replay that tonight. Because the Spurs have put Wemby on Hart because you can play off of Hart because he's such a bad 3-point shooter. And he doesn't even attempt anything within 18, 19 feet because he doesn't have that range. It's I'm either shooting a 3 or a layup because my mid-range game is non-existent. So if Hart's not able to hit 3 or 4 threes tonight and Wemby's playing off of him and he's going to be able to play off of him even late because he's not hitting the 3, I think the Knicks are in big trouble.
Dude, I wanted to talk about that. Even with the game that he had, Rafa, which he hit like 4 or 5 3-pointers.
Yeah, like 13 points in the first half.
Yeah. Even with the game he had, I get he's a hustle guy. I get that he, hustles, rebounds, plays defense, but he is such a huge liability on offense. I can see if you were like a Dennis Rodman, 6'8", 6'10" guy, cleaning up the boards, but he's not that guy.
The thing is, Eddie, Josh Hart's a player who plays big. And so I was telling somebody, he's the other day, he's a guy who plays bigger than what he is. Kind of like Draymond, but not as good as Draymond and not as big as Draymond, because Draymond 6'8", 6'9" would guard a 7-foot guy, 7'1", because he plays big. Josh Hart plays bigger than what his size is. He's just not Draymond or Dennis Rodman or any of those guys, but he plays bigger than what he is. I think the liability that you have with Josh Hart on offense kind of takes care of itself on the other side of the ball because you have a defensive liability in Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have Josh Hart's defense with his bad offense than you need somebody there to kind of take the burden off of Brunson's defense, because Brunson's defense is just it's just non-existent. It's almost very Josh Harden like almost.
Let's end on this. So
James Harden, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think the X factor is Cat. He's had tremendous games. I feel like New York has had this great run because they have sort of made him that point, center or whatever. He didn't have a good game. What's the Eddie Money? What's the over under on Cat and points? Because I think what's his name? Brown, the coach, not Larry Brown.
Oh, Mike Brown.
Mike Brown. I think that has to be the emphasis, Rafa, is that he has to have 32 to 37 points tonight. He has to be a factor.
17 and a half favored under.
Wow.
Yeah, so he hasn't had these big games in this series, right? Like
I know.
Like when they talked about, he's the finals MVP right now. And the reason he's been the finals MVP the first two games was because of the job he did against Wemby.
Yeah.
That's the reason, and he had a double-double in game 2. He was effective from the field. He only shot 12 shots. In game 3, he only took 10 shots. And do you want to give him 15 shots? You need him on the defensive side of the ball, because if you can't stop Wemby for a bad shooting night, because Wemby's, Brunson's had a bad shooting night, 9 of 25, 9 of 26, whatever the fuck it was, but he still had 30-something, right?
Yeah.
Whatever his shooting percentage was, which wasn't great, but he still had 30+. Wemby's that same player. Wemby can be 4 of 16, but yet somehow have 25 because he's getting to the line.
Yeah.
So with Cat, he needs his focus because he's done such a good job on Wemby the first 2 games. He wasn't great in game 3, yes, but because he wasn't great on defense against Wemby either. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. And when he's battling with Wemby, and it's not like he's battling down there with Shaq or even the Joker. Wemby's super soft, right? But it's still a 7'5" guy with a fucking wingspan where he can dunk from 4 feet from the basket or whatever it is. So it's just that's too tolling on his. That takes a toll on his body for you to also demand of him to take 15 to 18 shots a game at this point. Like I just don't think he would be able to. It wouldn't work out. I don't think he'd be able to do it. To be honest with you.
Eddie Money, can we change the narrative on super soft and Wemby? We saw the whole pushing of Brunson to fade. Like, I'm kind of digging it. Like, I'm not gonna say he's soft.
I'm not saying. I didn't mean it super soft as he doesn't play physical down low on offense, right? Like he's just not physical like that.
But he has a couple things working against him, right? He's very thin. People want to say he's like he's definitely not like Gonzaga guy. OKC. Anyways.
Yeah, like Chet.
Like Chet. He's not Chet.
He's not European. Chet, but he's not the Joker. And you know what I mean? That he's not Embiid, because Embiid, if he wanted to, he can get down low and doesn't have a fucking problem. God forbid he would do that. If he did that, the Sixers might be in these finals.
Yeah, I'm digging that he's playing Eddie Money. I'm digging that he has attitude, that he's fighting back or even starting fights. I think it's great for him, man. I'm really excited to where this goes. But
by the way, and I know you bashed on Josh Hart, but in the playoffs, he's averaging 9 rebounds a game. By the
way, he better is what I'm saying.
He's averaging 9 rebounds a game. In the finals, he's averaging 10 rebounds a game. So, but last game was the exception. He had 16 points.
Yeah.
Right. And so in game 2, he was in foul trouble, and I think that game 2. We saw what the Spurs did there at the end, just gave that game away.
Yeah.
And so, but enough of this game. We'll chat about it next week after the Spurs come back and win it.
Yeah, man. Let's get into what we came to talk about, because we promised a lot of people a lot of information. Are we going to go group by group? How are we going to do this, Eddie Money? How do you want to do this, Rafa? Let's get into the World Cup, man. World
the World
Cup.
Cup. I say we go group by group. Let's start with Group A,
Okay.
and then we can go group by group. We'll pick a winner. I'll give you what I believe will kind of happen, and then we
That's all.
kind of go from there.
Let's do this, Eddie Money, because I mean, gambling, Vegas, and all these things, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be absolutely great.
You need an accurate bracket. You need an accurate.
Rafa, before we get into group by group, can you explain to the people that have never bet soccer how you bet soccer? Because people are gonna say, I took them and they, and they ended up winning, or what's the half point and all this shit. Can you explain the proper way to gamble on a World Cup game?
Okay, so just so everybody understands, and you're not calling your friend who put in a bet for you in Vegas and you lost. You're not going to have those discussions in the group stage. You're not going to have those issues, right? Because the group stage, the game goes 90 minutes, 90 plus injury time, and then the game is over, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to have an issue here. And well, you actually might. Boxing fight, most boxing fights where you just pick a fighter, if it ends in a draw, more than likely it's just a push, right? You're betting the ninth. There's going to be no extra time in any of these group stages. And what I mean by extra time is the actual 91, where the game ends and then there's actual overtime. You're not going to have that in the group stages. There will be none of that. There will be normal injury time, which is part of the regular game. It is what it is. You bet win, you pick a side. So let's say the first game, you have Mexico and South Africa. You either pick Mexico, South Africa, or the draw. It's one of the three. So if the game ends 1-1 and you bet on Mexico, you lost. Okay? It's just that simple. That's what it is. Just so you know. So don't think anything else. And so that's super important. So you have that. And then once you get to the knockout stages, they will go overtime if the game is tied, whether it's tied at 0 or tied at 1 or tied at 2 or whatever it is. You will only bet them for the first 90 minutes. So if you bet on Brazil to win their knockout stage and they win 2-1 in extra time, you lost your bet.
Yes.
So keep that in mind.
Does that start at the round of 16, Rafa? Is that when that starts?
Second round. Whenever the second round is, so that each team's going to play 3 games. That'll be the group stage. Once they eliminate, once two teams from every group advance, whatever, the next round, which will be, I guess, the round of 32 now.
Okay.
Or whatever it is, because the field is so fucking big. The second actual round, those will be knockout games.
Okay.
So the knockout stage, those are knockout games. Your bets are only 0 through 90. Some places will have XYZ team to advance, Uruguay to advance to win this game. You can bet that also. That's a separate bet. But if you're betting on the game and you see the draw, if the game ends in a draw and you didn't bet the draw, you're going to lose. You just lost. That's what it is.
Okay.
Same as the over. If you take the over fucking 2.5 and it's 1-1 and the game ends 2-1, but it's an extra time, that extra time goal does not count.
Thank you. What a nugget. Okay, now bring up the groups, the group of death.
Let's bring up Group A, Eddie Money, if you have it. And so no, these groups are wrong, Eddie Money, because you still haven't. So go to ESPN and just pull up their regular groups.
This was from ESPN, huh?
No. Because this is from like 4 months ago.
Oh,
because you see how you have like UEFA Playoff D, so you're missing like teams in there.
I don't want me to.
Yeah. I'm excited,
ESPN
man.
could have, like the table. If you just click on Men's World Cup.
Oh, here we go.
You got it?
We go.
Okay,
there we go. Oh God, I'm blind. Any way to make that
I gotcha.
bigger?
There you go.
Yes, thank you, Papa. All right. That's the first game. That's the first game tomorrow, right?
Mexico, South Africa is the first game tomorrow. And which I believe might be the only game tomorrow, or do we have two? We should
There's
have
2
tomorrow.
games tomorrow, I
Okay,
believe.
yeah, and then you have South Korea and the Czech Republic in that game, right? Which is no longer the Czech Republic. Now this is Group A, and everyone believes that Mexico is going to clear this group with 9 points. I am not of those that believes that Mexico even wins this group.
Mhm.
So I'm going to give you my group winner. I'm going to go with South Korea as the group winner and Mexico as the runner-up in this group. You may think I'm hating on Mexico. I'm not. I'm just going by historically what Mexico has done in World Cups. And although
They've been
they are at home,
Garbage.
garbage. Yes. So I'm going to go with South
Garbage.
Korea. Listen, South Korea, the two Asian teams that always put up a fight in the World Cup, South Korea and Japan, they're always, people get shocked that they advance or they play well or whatever. So, but I like South Korea here. I think South Korea wins the group, but I think it's going to be tight. I think it comes down to their game against Mexico. And so, but I'm going to go with South Korea to win the group. I could be wrong, might be wrong, but I won't be wrong. South Korea to win the group. Mexico will be the runner-up, is my opinion.
Rafa, would I be out of pocket to say that there's probably more South Koreans in the Premier League than there is Mexicans in the Premier League?
Oh, you're probably not wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Don't sleep on South Korea. Not at all.
Yeah, I definitely like South Korea, man.
Yeah, we're going to get all the hate for that one.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure that's the first clip we put up. Mexico's not going to win that group. All right, let's move on. Group B, man.
Group B.
Group B is another host country in Canada. Canada hosting, some games. You have Bosnia, you have Qatar, and you have Switzerland. To me, I think the winner of the group is going to be the Swiss.
Mhm.
I think Switzerland, they can score. They're a defensive club. I like Switzerland to win the group. And I'm going to say that another host nation advances. I'm going to go with Canada to finish second in the group, which I'm not a big fan of here, to be honest with you. I think the team from Qatar played well. They play well internationally. They're not a bad team, but I'm going to go with the Canadians. I'm going to go with Canada and Switzerland. Switzerland to win the group, Canada to advance.
Yeah, they're blonde, blue-eyed, and make great watches. I'm taking Switzerland too, man.
And here are the odds on that. South Korea is plus 350 to win Group A. And then you said Switzerland Group B?
Yeah.
Minus 130 on there.
What's
All right,
Mexico?
Vegas kind of agrees with me in Group B.
Ice
What's
goes minus 140.
Mexico's minus 140, man.
Okay.
Here are the odds for Group C before we get into it. So Brazil, heavy favorite.
So I'm gonna go Brazil to win the group. I think Morocco finishes second, and then Scotland and Haiti, kind of the way they have it. I think the Scotland-Morocco game, I think, could be great, and I think the winner of that game will win the group. But I think Morocco comes out on top. Morocco against Brazil, I think, is going to be a phenomenal game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a really good. Listen, Brazil looked good the other day, and I know it was against Panama or whatever. That's kind of the style that Brazil needs to play, and they haven't been playing that for a while. Where they've been playing these Panama and Costa Rica and Ecuador, and they've been 1-0 games. Brazil has a style that they need to go back to from 2 or 3 World Cups ago, where it's let's run, let's put on a show, let's put some the ball behind the net. So I'm going to go Brazil, and then Morocco, Scotland, and then Haiti. But the Scotland-Morocco game, I think, could be a big factor. Raider Resistance in the house. Raider Resistance, we are covering the World Cup.
What
right
up,
now.
man? What up? What's up, man? Yeah, it's World Cup. Get your notebook out. Get your notebook out.
The U.S., Turkey.
I saw Don,
Paraguay,
and Don was in the Instagram earlier saying had to come here so I would get off whatnot.
Don't do whatnot, man.
big thing.
USA. This is their chance to win a group, Rafa. Is it not?
It ain't that easy, man.
I get it.
This group isn't a walkover. I mean, listen, you have. To me, Australia, I think, is the one game where I think everyone in the group's going to beat them. But the other 3 teams, I think you're going to get great games. Like this Paraguay opener on Friday with the U.S., I think that's going to be a great game to go watch. And I
Yeah.
think the U.S. Listen, as good as they've been, this is probably one of the most talented teams they've had since who knows when, if not probably the most talented team
Ever.
But Christian Pulisic has to be a force. He has to put balls behind in the net. He's got to score. He just has to score. I think if you don't get him scoring, 1-0 games for the U.S. just isn't going to fly. I think the first game against Paraguay, I think they draw that game. I think that's going to be phenomenal. To me, I'm going to say that U.S. wins the group, but I'm not. I'm more. I put it this way: I like South Korea better to win the first group than I would like U.S. to win this group because Paraguay and Turkey. Turkey's a very good team. I think this is the young people say low key group of low key group of that type shit here because those three teams. Listen, they're not none of the three teams are powerhouses, but they're middle of the pack, very good football teams. Yeah. That's what I think between all three, between the U.S., Paraguay, and Turkey. So I'm going to say U.S. comes out on top, and I'm going to take Turkey to finish second, and only because I think Turkey's going to gain some sort of momentum because I think they're going to put the fuck to Australia in that first game. I'd be shocked if they don't win at least 2-0. And then that kind of, because I think U.S. and Uruguay and Paraguay, I believe they draw. I strongly do. And listen, if USA wins, great. I believe they're both looking at we're going to draw, and Turkey's probably going to be leading this group after one. And then after that, it's like, well, Turkey, we got 3 points. Now we can almost play draw, or type of deal. So, but I'm going to go U.S. and I'm going to go Turkey. U.S. win the group, Turkey to finish second. But to me, I think it's a very tough group. I think it's an underrated tough group.
Do you think, I heard a stat, something about when Pulisic scores or has an assist, we rank like a top 20 team. I don't know what the analytics, I don't know how they did that. But when Pulisic scores, like you said, he has to be a force. U.S. has played well the last 3 months in these friendlies. Do you think that it's a false sense of confidence? Or, I mean, they're scoring, man. Do you think
they're scoring? But to me, I think they go as far as Pulisic takes them. I think they don't have another world class player. As many people as you can believe, this guy that Pulisic is the only real world class player they have. It's not like when you look at Brazil and England and France and this and that, they have world class player after world class player after world class player on those teams. You have one world class player on this team. And if he's not playing well, if he's not creating, if he's not putting the ball in the net, I think they will struggle to even win the group. I think they win the group, but narrowly. I think it's going to be narrow. I think it's going to be tough. Listen, if they come out and just belt to ass and win by 2 goals against Paraguay or even get a goal early and then now they can defend and maybe counter a little bit because Paraguay is going to play defense. They're going to look for the counter. They're going to sit there and kind of hold back a little bit and play that pace of game. They're not going to go out there and go stride for stride with the U.S. So I'm going to give U.S. the edge in the group, but not by much.
What do you think? And I hate to keep on talking about U.S., but we do live here, so we'll probably cover them the most. I think what could be the weakness is in goal with this guy from Harvard. Doesn't have a ton of experience. I know they're making a last-second decision. Do you think? I mean, this is to be goalie, right? It's a huge deal. You are so highlighted. Do you think that this guy is ready? I mean,
he's ready. The back line's ready. They got to respect him. They got to understand his movement. They got to understand. Listen, my guy likes this thing. My guy likes for me to push these guys this way. This is his weak spot. Can I get the guys to where his at an angle where they're going to have to shoot to his stronger, whatever, a better attribute he may have, right? Like, maybe he's better to the left side of the goal than he is to the right or whatever. Maybe he's better with the ball in the air and not so good with the ball, whatever, different things. It takes a lot from the back line as well, especially those center backs to kind of, help them out and guide them through there a little bit.
I just think it's going to be a big deal that
when you have inexperience in net, you need to have leadership at the center back position and more respect kind of on the field that those positions are respected, and the goalie will be just fine. But
Word up.
listen, he's not going to face a ton of shots against Paraguay. I'd be shocked.
Mhm.
So he's not going to have too many opportunities to make mistakes in this first game. Against Turkey, against Turkey is going to be a whole different deal because Turkey's going to, probably fire 7-8
Yeah.
shots at him. I don't
Yeah.
think you're going to see 7 or 8 shots from Paraguay. I really don't.
All right.
All right.
That's why he's the guru, man.
Here is Group E with Germany.
So this group is Germany's, and then Ecuador and the Ivory Coast are just a fucking toss up. Like it's just you're playing from second place. This is probably, to be honest with you, I think, and from what we've seen so far of the first 3 groups, I think we've done, I think this is the only group where so far we'd probably have a team with 9 points.
Yeah.
Anybody in that group, I don't think is even close to Germany's roster, and Germany's not as deep as some of the other teams, Spain, France. They're not as deep, but I think their starting 11, I think is phenomenal. So I think Germany is one of the 5 best teams in this thing, maybe even top 4, and we'll get to that afterwards. But I'm going to say Germany wins the group, and I'm going to say the Ivory Coast sneaks in and takes second place in the group.
Ivory Coast always has those stars. They probably have a bunch of dudes in the Premier League.
They have playmakers and they play well. And listen, some of the African nations, very impressive. Like, to me, Japan and Korea. I feel like Senegal and Ivory Coast always are those teams where they can compete and they can, they have the speed and they have players that play in world-class leagues, players that are playing in the Italian league, in the French league, in the Europe, basically the top 4 European leagues. They have players there. So I'm gonna go Ivory Coast second. Germany far and away blows the competition out of the water. They may not need fucking even play anybody the third game.
Eddie Money, follow me here. I'm gonna talk your language. Germany, low key best kits at the World Cup.
Phenomenal.
Are they cooked? Low key best kits.
Oh my god.
They are, dude. Germany's kids are fire.
Right? They always are. They always on point, man. It's the Adidas. I don't know what it is, man. I always like shit. I'd rock the shit of that Germany.
Germany's kids badass.
Yeah, always excited.
But not the best, though. Not the best. Not this year. This year.
We'll get to the end because
that's that team, because that team's group's coming soon. So,
all right, man.
At least what I think is the best kid.
All right. What's next, anybody? Did you understand me, anybody? Was I?
Unfortunately, I did. Here's what we have for Group F.
Ooh,
another really, really good group.
Is this the group of death?
I don't know if this is the group of death. I'd like to see the last couple. This is a really good group, though.
Really good group.
Really good group. Really tight. Holland, the Netherlands, they're the favorite to win the group. But listen, like I mentioned earlier when we were talking about South Korea, Japan is one of those teams where they play, a good brand of World Cup football. So Japan, Sweden, who plays well, as well. Tunisia's no slouch either. Like, people are looking at Tunisia, and they're plus 1,400 to win the group. They can come in and play to a draw, maybe get a late goal, maybe get a surprising goal and be up 1-0 in one of these games. I'm gonna say Holland wins the group. I'm gonna say Holland wins the group, and I'm gonna roll with the Asian groups there, with the Asian teams like South Korea. I'm gonna go with Japan to finish second in this group, but don't discredit Sweden and Tunisia. But I'm gonna go Holland, and then I'm gonna go Japan. And in a tight group, I think it's gonna be a tight group. I think it's gonna come down. I think this is one of those groups where all 4 teams, which is hard to say, but all 4 teams might have a chance on the last day.
Is it Holland, Norway, not Netherlands?
No. Holland is 1,000% Netherlands.
And the 1,000 Netherlands are probably really excited to come to America because there's going to be mayonnaise and fries.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just going to be pouring mayonnaise on their fucking fries. And people are like, what the hell are they doing? That's a thing over there. I've been to Long Beach has a Netherlands like parade or I don't know, festival. I've been to that. Don't ask me why.
Horrible
Horrible
food. A Dutch thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like dried
No,
fish.
he's Norwegian.
Well,
Yeah.
oh, you're talking about we're talking about the country Holland.
Oh,
And you're talking about Erling Holland, which is Norwegian,
Oh!
which I think is the same.
yeah. Oh,
So we're talking
bruh.
about Holland, the country, which
Oh my
is called
I
God.
thought you were
Netherlands
talking about
for
the
the
plan. I
last
was like,
who knows how many
I was
fucking
like,
times,
That's-
right?
for sure
That's
they're wrong.
Holland. Can you explain to me why the Netherlands run orange
Holland was
kits?
a country, CJ, just so you know.
Yeah. Can you explain to me why they run orange kits?
I have no clue, but they're fucking great. Blue
Yeah,
and orange.
right.
I have one from the 2006 World Cup.
They're always dope. Do they
Always.
have any? I mean, they've had superstars there, right? And I can't, they've had
They had
Dude.
Robin, Schneider, Durkheim,
Yes.
and they have the best
Good.
defender on the planet.
They
I
won-
would
they-
say
They wear orange
now.
because it's the color of the Dutch royal family.
in Virgil. So
The House
Virgil.
of Orange Nassau.
Yeah, Virgil, just badass. Thanks for that, Eddie Money. That's
the
a
Netherlands
great
has
cool.
the Netherlands has players. They are a dark horse in this thing, and so. But I like the Netherlands in the group for sure, and then Japan coming in second. But it's going to be a tight one, I think.
And they're always big. Can I say this? Can I give an upset? I'm going Japan. Who did Japan play recently? And they played them. Was it Brazil or they played someone really tight to a draw?
Japan's a really good team, and
And-
they play well.
And I think it was Brazil who they played. And if you watched it, Japan in these other sports, I know wrestling, they have made a huge jump. They have a discipline. They're going to be in the best shape. If you saw the game who they played recently, they could have won another 90 when the other guys
They beat England. They beat
England,
back
Yeah.
England. That's what it was. They're gonna be in the best shape in that group. Don't be shocked. That's my dark horse here. What number? I might drop a dime or two, man, on Japan to win that group.
Japan is plus
By the way,
260.
keep in mind, by the way, Japan and the Netherlands, their first group game is against each other. So they'll face off first. Keep an eye on the draw in this game, and I'm going to say the under. I'm going to go with a 0-0-1-1 draw. As good as the Netherlands are, as good as Japan is very good defensively, very disciplined team. So I'm gonna say keep an eye on the draw and the under in the Japan-Netherlands games.
Dude, sneaky good first game. Sneaky good. Love it.
Let's get to the next group, baby.
All right, we got Group G coming up here. Got
Ooh.
Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand.
And Belgium's
So,
made some runs, right? Belgium has made some strides.
Belgium's time to be a world champion has passed.
Mhm.
I think their key stars have aged. I think they're in a perfect group where the group isn't strong.
Yeah.
So I think they come out on top of the group. I think almost with ease. I feel. I don't think they're going to be. They have Iran and New Zealand in the group. I think zero pressure here on them. So Iran's going to get their nuts kicked in, hopefully twice this week. And then and then New Zealand isn't putting not putting up a fight. So I think it's going to be Belgium to win the group.
Yeah, New Zealand's gonna try to pick up the ball and play fucking rugby. What are we really talking about here?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, that might be considered the group of life, if you will.
oh,
the
that's
opposite of the group of death?
That's the group of congratulations, Belgium. You're in the next fucking round. That's just one of those like, all we need to do is show up, and then obviously Egypt, who's a very good African nation. I think they've played really well. So I think Egypt and Belgium advance pretty easy, to be honest with you. I think their toughest game is going to be against each other, and then the other two games are going to be cakewalks.
Yeah, I love that. Iran hope they get their nuts kicked in twice this week. Too good, Rafa. Too good.
Yes, sir. What's the next one?
Next group is Spain's group. Got Spain,
Yeah.
Uruguay, Saudi, and Cape Verde.
So I'm going to be watching two of these teams. I'm going to be watching the Uruguay and Cabo Verde game. This is Spain's group to take. I mentioned nobody's got 9 points up until from we had seen. Germany, I believe, will have 9. I believe Spain will have 9. I think Spain is one of the two best teams in this fucking thing. Fully healthy. They should be fully healthy for the first game. And get ready to go because they're gonna boat race their first game.
It's just
which is I believe against Cabo Verde. By the way, Saudi Arabia, who beat Argentina in the 22 World Cup in the group stage, is looking for a little bit more of that magic this time around. That's not happening to Spain.
No.
Like, you may battle Uruguay, but you're not going to come out and beat Spain for sure.
Can I say this? That if you are not a fan of soccer, you're going to get a lot of people. It's fucking stupid. The draws, there's not a lot of scoring. Sit down. And if I could, even more than Brazil, Rafa, even more than France, if you have not seen a World Cup game, or if you have not seen the best of football, soccer, if you will, and tell me if you agree with this or not, Rafa. Sit down and watch Spain play soccer, and it is fucking beautiful.
They play a brand that is it's like watching Barcelona, basically. It's almost the same thing. It's a tiki-taka, it's a pass, it's quick passing, it's back and forth. They may bring it all the way back, and then they go forward again, and it's just and they look for their spaces. They looked phenomenal 2 nights ago. And I know it was against a shitter, but it was against Iraq or whatever the fuck it was. One of those fucking it was against a shitter. But and listen, Lamine didn't play, Nico didn't play. They had 3 or 4 guys that didn't play. And it's the same thing. It doesn't matter who comes in, it's a plug and play system. And so it's a beautiful brand of football. It really is. It's not as fancy as 94, 98, 2002 Brazil. It's not as fancy as that. It's not that style. It's more of a precise passing. We're going to get it through. We're going to look for these plays, and they're going to control 62 to 65% of the ball. That's what it is.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get into it afterwards, but would you say Lamine is the favorite to win the Golden Boot here? Is this, he's a superstar already, right? But he is not Neymar. He is not Mbappe. He is not Messi. He is not Ronaldo. The people in soccer know he's amazing, but is this where he takes the next level and becomes the Ronaldo? He becomes the Messi. Is this where
I think he's already? I'm not going to say he's, because you're talking like all timers, right? Like when you say Ronaldo, when we say Messi, those are 2 of the 4 or 5. As many people as want to hate on, those are 2 of the 4 of the 5 best players of all time, and arguably Messi could be number 1, right? And
not arguably in my book.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it is what it is, right? It's like a LeBron and Jordan type of deal, whatever.
Yeah.
So he could be the best. He could not be the best. It doesn't matter. He's one of those guys, right? One of the 2, one of the 3, whatever. So I don't think he's there. I think on the world-class stage right now, though, as far as league play, he was really, really good in the Euros, and they won the Euros. And I think he's there already. I don't think he needs a huge performance for people to be like, oh my God, look at this guy. Because it's already, oh my God, look at this guy. He's already that good. I don't think he wins the Golden Boot because I think somebody else is going to win the Golden Boot. We haven't talked about them yet, but I think he will. And but Lamine, I think Lamine, because you have Nico and you have other guys who can put the ball in the net for that team. Can he get off, early start and get to the first game? Yes, he can, but will he? Will they allow him? Spain has so many weapons, right? And their game is he's phenomenal with that team. That team's phenomenal without him, but he's just a great player. I don't know. Does he have that shining World Cup? Yes, he's capable. Yes, he is. So will he do it? I don't know because they have so many stars. Nico's going to be on the other side, fully healthy, more than likely. We saw how good they were in the Euros.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to give him the golden boot, but he might win the most valuable player of this fucking thing.
Woo! Who do you think wins the Golden Boot, Hakatomi Plaza? We're talking about right now. Oh, whatever, Vinny Jr.
You know
I
what's
mean- I
funny?
mean,
That if you ask
we'd like to
Alfie, I mentioned that yesterday.
Really?
I mentioned that yesterday that I said, hey, Vinny has to have a breakout performance. And I know we talked about Brazil a little bit. Vinny has to break out. Will he be able to break out? Can Rafinha put him in position to break out? Right. But they also have Hendrick, who's going to start alongside of him, who's the high flyer as well. Will we have so that? But my golden boot guy, I think, is in the next group.
All right, man.
All right. Let's see. Group I. Oh. Here's what you've been looking for.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
Oh
You got
yeah.
France, Norway, Senegal, and Iraq.
So this group right here, and to me, I think, and as good as I think the French are with Spain the best team in this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Dembele, the defense, the everything. Mbappe has 12 World Cup goals. He's been to 2 finals. He had a hat trick in the last final, right? And barring a miracle, and listen, Argentina was their Messi's time where he was going to be still kind of elite and in the World Cup. Although if you watched him last night, he was elite as fuck. It was Iceland, but he was still elite in his 18 minutes of play. I think Mbappe is going to have one of those Miroslav Klose R9 World Cups where it's just goal after goal after goal after goal. And I think he's going to put up a number like 7 goals in this fucking thing, maybe even 8. I'm going to give the golden boot to Mbappe. As bad as he's been for Real Madrid, and he hasn't been bad. It's just they haven't won, right? Since he's been there. And you thought, fuck, they added Mbappe to already all of these guys.
It didn't work out like everyone thought.
It hasn't worked out, and that's why there's a $150 million bid for Julian Alvarez to come to that Real Madrid team. A third fucking striker, right? Mbappe, to me, I think wins the golden boot. I think France will be – I don't know how the brackets break down how he would play, who he would play XYZ time. But I think that's the golden boot. And I think he's going to put up like a crooked number, like a 7 or an 8 goal tally. Because listen, and who's in that group, Eddie Money? I know we have Norway and
Iraq.
Senegal and Iraq.
Senegal and Iraq.
Yeah. Senegal's a good team.
So that Iraq game, Mbappe might hang 2 or 3, right? Dembele might get 2 in that game. Like, Olise, who's it going to be? I think it's going to be Mbappe. I think he's going to put up crooked number in these World Cups. I think he's going to have 7 goals, maybe even 8. That's what I think. I'm just throwing that out there. Norway, by the way, Haaland making his first appearance in the World Cup. We know how good he is as a finisher. Will he be able to do this against these teams, against Senegal? I don't doubt it that he doesn't put up a fucking hat trick against Iraq. And then now that's kind of propelled him. Against France, though, that game's going to be tough. The Senegal game, I think, a little tougher. France, I think, wins the group with maybe 7 points. I'm gonna go with Norway to finish second in that group.
So a couple questions in this group. Hawks, we talked about best kit. Germany is top 3 best kits. Is this where you think best kit? Do you think it's France?
1,000%.
Right.
The France blue I love, but it's that other color. It's that off-white with the green, the
designs in it.
That with the designs, with that print on it, it's just fucking insane. And it's just kind of meshed into the shirt, like it's built into the shirt. It's not like an overpowering.
Yes.
I think that one, to me, I think that's gonna be the one that's just fucking insane.
You know what I miss, Rafa? I miss going to Vegas, going to Caesars, going to the Nike store, and seeing those kids. Like, dude, France, I gravitate to. They always have the dopest kits, and I knew you were gonna go there because we have the same taste in a lot of stuff. But my next question is this: let's say Mbappe does win that golden boot. Let's say they do win it all, does he bump maybe a Pelé? Does he bump maybe a Ronaldo to on that Mount Rushmore? Does that put him at that level?
Listen, I thought when he went to Real Madrid, I thought, and I said it, when he went to Real Madrid, I thought he was going to become the best striker of all time, like on a list, because I thought he would be able to accumulate Champions League and La Liga titles, and he hasn't been able to do that.
Yeah.
And now he's been great on the listen, for the French team, you saw them win it in 18. You saw them get to a final in 22. And imagine if he would have won that final, you'd have 2 World Cups and as arguably the best player on the team, right? Like there was no argument about it. So to me, I think if they win this World Cup, it propels him to top 5, 10, probably top 10 all time as an total national team and club team player.
I'll just give mine, right? You got Pelé, Maradona, Messi, and Ronaldo. I believe that if Mbappe does do what he did, or what we would think he's gonna do, I think he's gonna be right there, man. I really do. The
Champions League thing, though, which is a big deal, right? And the thing is, since Champions League wasn't around back in those days, back when Pelé, Maradona only has 1 Champions League title, and that was in '89, right? Like that wasn't a big deal. Now it is, and because you have so many trophies in between, right? And that's kind of what you're measured at, because that goes on. The World Cup comes around once every 4 years, right?
Good point.
You have the Euros as well, right? And you have the Copa America and all of that for the South American nations. So, that part of it also, comes into play. And we've seen Messi, and Messi has finally a World Cup. But to me, I didn't need Messi to win a World Cup for me to think that he was one of the 2 greatest players of all time. That was just icing on the cake. I didn't need that. I already saw him win Ballon d'Or after Ballon d'Or after Ballon d'Or, Champions League after Champions League, Liga titles, et cetera, right?
True.
So I needed that from Mbappe for me to propel him to even the Ronaldo, Messi
conversation,
kind of Mount Rushmore of those guys. And listen, he's great. He's phenomenal. What he's done at PSG when them not being able to win, he's now been gone for 2 years. PSG is back to back without him, back to back Champions League.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
Which is arguably the hardest trophy to win, harder than the World Cup to win.
Yeah, man.
Because you're playing the best players, the best teams, in a tournament while you're playing your league and another tournament, right? So, like last year, PSG won the treble, right? Yeah. They won the Champions League. They won their league. They won the Copa de France. They had a chance to win the Clubs World Cup at one point. And I think if they would have brought the entire club, they might have won that motherfucker too.
Yeah.
So, and I believe they might have won the treble this year also. Like, they're just that good, and they did it without Mbappe. They did it after he left, right? So, that's the one knock on Mbappe. Even with, let's say, 2 World Cups, if he were to win, yes, it propels him up there, but it doesn't overtake Ronaldo.
Yeah. No, I get it. It makes sense. The way you broke it down makes sense.
But it doesn't even overtake Zidane, who has a World Cup, who has Champions League. It maybe doesn't even take Henry, who also has a World Cup title.
Oh, God.
So it's
those dudes have style, man. Those dudes have style. They're just class. They're just class.
Yes, it's a different deal. And that 98 France team who hosted and won it was a phenomenal team.
Zidane, man. Oh, yeah, the headbutt.
The headbutt, for sure.
Dude, I love the conversation, dude. I love the conversation. Not to keep on going after, but it just goes to show you, right? Like, you can put 3 of the biggest stars on the planet. It's like putting Michael Jordan and LeBron on the same team doesn't guarantee you're going to win, right? It has to be styles. That's all I'll say.
Right, and that's the struggle that they have with Madrid.
Yeah. Okay. God.
And what's our last group, Eddie Money? The Portuguese group.
We still got a couple. We still got 3 groups.
Oh shit. Okay,
So we have Argentina, Austria,
that's right.
Algeria, and Jordan.
Listen, Argentina impressed me last night, and I know it was against Iceland. They didn't have a lot of their starters. They brought them in late. Messi came in, dude. I think he came in the 74th and change, right?
Yeah.
His first touch on the ball, puts a pass to Martinez, just a through ball,
Right.
draws a penalty, and he puts the penalty in the back of the net. And then,
Oh,
8
dude.
or whatever, 10, 15 minutes later, right before it's over, he sets up another goal. Like, he's just that good, right? And
Dude.
they mentioned it last night, and I thought I agreed with it, and I'm actually going to bring it up because I thought it was a great point. The 86 Argentina team, everybody knows La Mano de Dios, the hand of God,
Yep.
Maradona's handball that wasn't called. If it was played today, it definitely wouldn't be a goal, right?
Yep.
And so, which then propels them to end up, winning the title, right? Like that. That team carried over to 90, got to the final, and lost to Germany. This team, a lot of people feel that this team can carry on to that, to maybe get to a final. And this team is very good, but I think they're not as good as they were in 22. Messi's great, but I don't know if Messi's going to be able to play 90 minutes. I don't know if he's going to be able to play 80 minutes.
You can't
right?
do it.
Like, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. And so I think they win the group with ease. I think but the games afterwards, I believe, it could set up a matchup with the U.S. in the second round, I believe, or maybe even their third round match. It can eventually lead to a game if both teams win their groups and keep on winning. I think it's a quarterfinal would be against Portugal, who's a stacked fucking squad.
Woo! That is
like it's good. Just. I think this go of it for them, I think is not. I don't think they can win it. I don't even think they get to a semifinal. As great as Messi is, I don't think he has it in it. I don't think his body's going to be able to hold up.
Yeah. I do believe that could be a quarterfinal matchup. Ronaldo, Messi. Can I just listen, he doesn't need my praise or glaze, but the fact that Messi even win in that game in Alabama at Auburn Stadium, it just shows you he understands who he is. And to do dude, I would be in tears if I was there in fucking Alabama and watched him do that. It's just like watching Michelangelo paint the Sistine Chapel. I just want to give him props for even going in that game, giving that crowd the opportunity to see him play. I thought was amazing. Did you see the half Auburn kid with half Auburn, half Argentina? I mean, dude, I want one of those so bad. It's ugly as fuck. I just think it's the coolest shit, man. Like, he has no business being in that game, Rafa. He has no business being in that game, but he understands who he is and what he means to the sport, right?
Well, and especially here. And especially here now, because this is where he's at now. And so I think it was phenomenal. But like I said, Eddie, I don't know if he's going to be able to hold up for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And do they need him for 90 minutes? I think they do. We didn't see Alvarez last night. So we didn't see some guys, but I don't know if he can hold up for 90 minutes if they need him. And so, and listen, the group isn't strong. It's a weak group. Can they rest him in these games? Yeah. Can he play the first 65 minutes? They're up 2-0. He can leave the game. Sure. Can they not start him and be up 1-0 and bring him in the 70th? Sure. Again, in this group, yes. Yeah. I don't see a group issue. The problem is I see the knockout stages where it's going to be an issue. A U.S. team that's really fast, a Portuguese team that's just phenomenal everywhere, right? Like, it's just, except when Ronaldo's in the game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
By the way, Dude McBoob is talking shit. He said, this sounds like Speedy Gonzalez's cousin Slowpoke talking about sports, and goes, oh, wait, they're talking about soccer, so it isn't sports.
It's called football. It's a sport where they actually it's the name. The name is it actually goes there. They actually use their feet. But the Americans, the dumbass Americans, somehow they have two morons on the field and not ever. They're not. They're on for one play. The only two idiots who actually kick the ball.
Yeah.
And they call it football. But anyways, let's get on to the next group.
Dude, we love you chiming in, dude. It doesn't matter. Talk your shit, man. We still love you.
Jogging for 3 hours.
It's 90 minutes, but I know up there in Detroit, math is tough for you guys.
Yeah.
And then here is Group K. We got Portugal, Colombia, the DR Congo, and Uzbekistan.
Give me the Portuguese and give me 7 points for Portugal. I think they draw against Colombia. The other two teams are a fucking joke. Don't be shocked if fucking Ronaldo gets his shine in one of those two games, and then they can kind of be done with it. Like, all right, we don't need to force the ball to him, because that's what they've kind of been doing for the last 2 years, is trying to force the ball to Ronaldo so he can have XYZ amount of international goals or whatever. I think he's already the leader anyways. Like, who gives a fuck? But I feel like these guys, which might be a problem, like I feel like these guys feel like they need to win this shit for Ronaldo. And it's like, Ronaldo doesn't need this to cement some sort of legacy. He won a Euro, which is tougher to win than a World Cup because competition is tougher. He's won plenty of Champions Leagues on amazing teams, and he's made a fuck ton of money, and still to this day makes a fuck ton of money. So go out there, don't worry about fucking Ronaldo, and try and get into that fucking final. So give me Portugal and Colombia to come out of this group.
Hey, didn't the manager freaking sit him last time around, like in a very controversial fucking decision?
Roberto Martinez doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't take shit. So he needs to do that, and he needs to make sure that all these guys understand, because there's a level of respect for Ronaldo as there is for Messi, right? Within the club. And it's like Messi got one last time. Yet that should not be the mindset here. The mindset should be, we are this fucking good. We have superstars. We have elite, we have world-class players at 4, 5, 6 positions, and none of them are Ronaldo. So stick to that. And I think Portugal will be just fine. I wouldn't be shocked if Portugal's in that semifinal.
And I think, Ralph, Ronaldo knows that he's at this point of his career. Like last time, it was very controversial. He was upset about it. I think he understands at this point that's not who he is now.
I hope he understands. And for the team's sake, he needs to understand that. He needs to come out and listen. If there's a knockout stage game where it's 0-0 and it's not going well and he's not playing well and it's the 73rd minute, guess what? You got to go.
Yep.
You got to go.
Yep.
Dude, Big Poop still talking shit. Says, "Oh, he hit the ball off his head. He's an athlete. Soccer. It's what you play when your neighborhood can't afford a bat."
Dude, I thought all of those things when I was a narrow-minded dude, just like you, bud. Trust me, I did. And then when you actually watch and try to understand the game, you actually understand how good these guys really are. But I was the same way. I was like, listen, if you're 10 years old and you can't hit a baseball, but you can kick a soccer ball, it doesn't make you an athlete. I thought the same thing.
You grew up in Detroit as well, Rafa? I didn't know that.
No, I didn't. I'm a civilized human.
Oh, I love it.
CJ said, watching Michelangelo paint the Sistine Chapel might be the hardest line to nobody's line ever.
That's how I feel, man. When I feel privileged to watch him play. Like when I watched Jordan in his prime. Ooh.
Messi's those type of people, Eddie. To me, I think Messi's that Michael Jackson type of feeling.
Yeah.
You go back and you watch all of Michael Jackson's videos and you watch all of that, and you see people crying. And Messi has that factor for people who grew up watching the sport and watching him play.
Yeah, for sure. I watched that. Go ahead.
No, he said he's been a sports writer for 30 years. Soccer is golf for South Americans. And CJ saying, soccer is hard. I can go fuck. I watched Messi come in for a few minutes at O'Hare and be great. I was exposed to greatness. I'm watching this whole shit and cheering USA the whole time.
It's great, man.
Great.
It's for me. I always say this. Shit. I don't watch chess. But when I know it's at the very top level, when I know I'm watching the best of what anyone does, I'm interested. I can watch it when it's at its best. I ain't going to AYSO. I ain't watching fucking,
Sunday League at Paxton Park. Like that's not what we're talking about.
That's not enjoyable for me.
And the
This
problem is that when you know the U.S. and I've said this many times. I've said this shit many times. I'm not allowed. Listen, and I've said I will say, and I will die on. I will die with this take that if the Americans dedicated fucking 20 years of great coaching, the elite athletes that we create in this country and that are created in this country will be the best soccer players in the world if they fucking implemented that, and they don't. And they don't because the coaching isn't here and the competition isn't here. Yeah. Because whenever there's a great player, boom, he's gone. Whether it's Pulisic, whether it was Langdon Donovan, who isn't even as great world class as Pulisic, they're just gone and they go somewhere else. And you know, then it's one guy. And the thing is, when you go and see Barcelona at fucking 10 years old, every single one of those kids is better than fucking every high school and fucking college team in this country. That's just what it is.
Just imagine, Rafa. Imagine LeBron in goal, right? Imagine Ant, center back. Imagine Allen Iverson, forward. That's like imagine those type of athletes.
Past these guys, they would fly past them. It'd be a whole nother deal.
Yeah,
it'd just be a whole nother deal.
Yeah, it would for sure.
So let's get on to another group, Eddie Money.
Yeah, we got our last group. We have England, Group L: England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama.
Bet the under on every fucking game in this group.
Is Luka still playing? Is Luka still playing for Croatia?
This will be the last go for Luka.
I love it, man.
This will be the last go for group.
Luka Modric, not Luka Doncic for the casual listeners.
Yeah, Luka Modric.
Luka Doncic is not a double athlete.
Real Madrid all-timer. I listen. I like England to win the group. I like them to win it ugly. England, for whatever reason, I don't understand. They can't fucking score. Like they just should be so much better than what they are, and it's fucking upsetting to me. To be honest with you, it really is. So,
is this Harry Kane? Is this Harry Kane's last hurrah?
It could be. It could be because they have young players coming up, and so they they have Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham, and they have stars, right? Do they have stars at striker? They have some coming. But I think England wins the group. I think they win it probably with 7 points. It wouldn't shock me if they drew to Croatia on the first go. So, but I think England wins. I think Croatia comes in second. The rest of the group has zero fucking chance. Dude, although Ghana's surprising. Ghana's one of those African nations also who can surprise you.
Yes.
They've done it, in years past in World Cups, in previous World Cups. So, but I'm going to go England. I'm going to go Croatia. England will win because when electricity makes the lights come on, they won't think demons are invading the field.
Fucking dude, man.
Oh boy,
dude, I love it. When is okay? Did they get a new manager over there? Did they get a new coach in England? Because that has been the criticism over and over and over again is style. I mean, how many times can they talk about it without making changes? Is it going to be different this year, Rafa?
It's not. It hasn't been, and I don't know what it was today. And they played today, and it was 1-0 today, and I don't know what it was. I don't know what it ended at, but it was 1-0 today. Early goal, beautiful goal set up by the new Barcelona signing, the kid Gordon from Newcastle, I think it is. And it is beautifully set up to Declan Rice, and they didn't get another one after that. I'm trying to see if I can find the score from today, but I know it was 1-0 early. They didn't get another one while I was watching, but it just doesn't look like you have all this time. So I ended up winning 3-0. Gordon got a penalty, and then Watkins scored late. Am I going to get 3-0 every time? Because I haven't been getting 3-0. You lost to Japan, 2 months ago. Like you haven't been. You're not putting fucking the ball in the fucking back of the net, and it's disturbing.
And you have Jude, and you have Jude.
Yeah, they have players. There's plenty of players.
Yeah,
there. It's just ugly to watch with all the talent that they have, and especially in the middle and up front. They're really good defensively, and that's but that's what happens when you kind of hire a defensive-minded coach a little bit, right? So I think England wins it. I think Croatia does it. Can England get to another semifinal? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I know they all really want to. That they are diehards. I feel like they just get disappointed over every year.
Every
almost.
time.
Yeah.
They're like the Mexico of Europe.
Yes. Everyone, they should be great, right? They should be
Well,
amazing.
Mexico should never be great, but the thing is, if that's the only sport you're good at,
Yeah,
and you can never get past the quarterfinal, it's pretty fucking depressing.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
But
That's what
I'm not Mexican, so I don't give a fuck. And I actually enjoy that they're not good at the only sport that they can fucking play. So I could give 3 fucks about Mexico, and I hope they lose in their first knockout round game.
I've already seen Mexico flags. I've already seen them running on the freeways, man.
That's the problem here in LA. That's the problem. That if Mexico wins any fucking game, the street takeovers and the flags bigger than Camping World's American flag comes out on the back of a fucking 99 Silverado with 2 donuts on the back because they're burning fucking rubber.
Yeah.
So I hope fucking Mexico advances in their group. Yes, because I think they will. I hope they lose their first game, and I don't give a fuck what you think.
I got it.
That's my opinion. But I'm going to give you my top 4. I'm going to give you my top 4 teams to win this thing.
Hold on.
Dude.
Before you get to that, doing boops, I heard Africa isn't playing in the World Cup because they aren't falling for the free boat ride to America gag again.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy. CJ might enjoy the shit out of that one. CJ might enjoy that one.
These are not the views of the 2 hosts and the 2 nobody shows.
We're just reading comments.
Dude, Magoo, I share the same view as you, bud. I'm all good. I don't give a fuck. Thank you, CJ. CJ's are
Yeah.
yes, they are. I'm not gonna lie and say they're not.
I love it.
CJ enjoys the comment. CJ is a friend of ours.
Yeah, Apache.
Yeah,
Apparently.
he's Apache with some tinted skin.
Yeah.
Let me give you, before we finish up, I'm gonna give you my top 4 teams in the World Cup. I don't know how it's gonna break down. Obviously, they might have to play each other on the way to the final, but I am gonna go with the 4th team, and this is kind of a homer pick. Even though I'm Cuban, we always adopted the Brazilian national team because we don't play fucking football.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Brazil at number 4. I am going to go with Brazil at number 4. I'm going to go with Portugal at number 3. I'm going to go with the French at number 2. And I'm going to go with Spain at number 1. And I believe, and I told my son this when they won the Euro 2 years ago, I thought they were the best team in the world at that time. I think they're the best team in the world today. And that is the Spain national team. I'm going to go with Spain to win this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Spain is plus 460 for those interested.
Yeah, I think Spain with the front they have, with the middle they have, the coaching, I think it's all there. So I'm going to go with Spain. Yeah, so I have Spain, France, Portugal, and Brazil. And those are 4 of the 5. And then if you want to pick a value pick, Eddie Money, we'll throw a value pick if you want to scroll down a little bit. Give me some more.
Germany?
Yeah, I'm going to go because I want a little bit more value than Germany. I like Germany. I don't think they're as good as years past. But if they get a great draw through the knockout stage and the quarterfinal and all that, they could be there. I'm going to go with the Netherlands as a dark horse pick to get into maybe even to get even to the semis.
I might put a C note on Japan, man. I don't know why I'm so fired up about Japan. I don't know what it is. I think they're making strides. I really do. But I would agree with you, Rafa. As much as I don't want to agree on this show, I probably have the Spaniards as well. Taking it down. Eddie Money, what about you, man?
I'm gonna go with France. I know
like
they're like neck and neck with Spain, but I'm gonna go with France.
Yeah, France is deep, man. France is a deep team, very good team. From all 11 are phenomenal. America's lack of players due to being beaten up and having their lunch money taken away. No, those are just the liberal kids.
Bro, dude, like soccer is so popular in youth and high school. It's because of the parents that don't want their kids to play fucking, either they sucked at baseball or too scared to play football and too short to play basketball. I mean, soccer's huge at the youth
I mean,
level.
it's growing here, but it's to get it to an elite level, it's just so tough, right? Because all those countries have, so many programs, and all those clubs have, and there's a Barcelona club here, but it's not to the level that you see it over there, right? Like they're literally taking 8-year-old kids and signing them. Cesc Fabregas was 8 years old when Barcelona signed him. And I think they sold him like at 18 years old or 17 years old to Arsenal. Like it's just shit like that goes on.
Yeah, Real Madrid.
Can you imagine selling a fucking NBA basketball player at 12 years? Like imagine selling an American kid at 12 years old to another team. Can you imagine the fucking riots? Oh, you're selling my kid? But like, it'd be insane. It'd be insane.
And shit ton of fucking peds too. Shit ton of peds in that industry. So.
Oh yeah. So I'm excited for the World Cup, man. It's gonna be a great fucking 40 plus days or whatever it is.
Where does soccer rank in America?
Well, listen, TJ, if you look at the actual numbers, under 25, I believe they did this like 3 years ago. Under 25, people under 25, I think soccer was the number one sport, but they might have only done that in downtown LA where there's a lot of Mexicans.
It has to be behind hockey, right?
On a national stage as the older group of people always look at that as it's behind hockey. Should it be behind hockey? Probably not.
Are we ranking this by like talent or like popularity?
No, popularity.
No, not talent. Not talent.
Yeah,
popularity.
It says soccer is number 3 actually, above baseball.
Okay, whatever. As far as what? In the United States?
Yeah.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Above baseball? What's the criteria?
This is what Gemini is giving me.
As far as
this
people,
is according to Fox Sports in 2025.
Okay, well, that's just stupid.
Yeah, it has fans declared self-favorite sport. It has football, basketball, soccer, baseball.
I mean, it has changed, I would say, in the last 6-7 years. You wake up and you'll come to my house and there's, Newcastle against Everton on a Saturday morning. Like that has changed. I know that's been going on a long time in Rafa's house, but the Premier League is something that I watch. Like if I'm scrolling Saturday morning, I'm off of work, I'm having my cup of coffee, I will put on, an Arsenal game, a Manchester City game. That is a thing, but it's not above baseball, and I don't even think it's above hockey. But whatever.
CJ has it as football, baseball, basketball, hockey, wrestling, then soccer.
Yeah, so CJ, you're way wrong.
No one, by the way. Wrestling doesn't even have a professional. I mean, they have this raft thing that's gaining popularity. Are we talking about people playing it, or popularity? Anyways,
by the way, just so Dude McBoob understands, it's cheaper to get a baseball jersey or anybody's jersey over getting a Messi or a Maradona jersey autograph or any of those jerseys, because it's a world sport and those are world-class athletes who have won world trophies, like World Cup, international, not 50 state.
I would dare, and this is why this doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, I would dare to say that Premier League, La Liga, what's it in Germany? What's that league called? Bundesliga. Like those, I could be wrong. Those are the highest paid athletes in the world. It's
No,
very
well, because they make so much money in other things, right? So
yeah.
like they make money in their countries from Rolex and Nike and yada
Yeah.
yada yada. So
So
it's not a few
well,
extra bucks, dude, McBoob. And by the way, I'm a fan of all sports because I am articulate like that and I understand all sports. I'm not a narrow-minded gringo like most of the people in this country.
yes. What if Dude McBoob was Indian?
Doesn't matter if he's Indian, then he'd be talking about cricket.
That's right.
We're not thinking about cricket.
Which is the most watched, second most watched sports event in the world, other than the Olympics, by the way. 10 times more than the Super Bowl. Cricket is because there's so many people over there. But anyways, listen, we have 5 minutes.
He said there are plenty of boat rides back to Cuba.
There's no boat rides back to Cuba. That is one border that's closed. They understand borders.
Yes, yes. Listen, that I think we did a hell of a job covering that. That was a lot of fun. We probably put a lot of people to sleep, but I don't give a fuck. I think that was great. I love talking football with you, Rafa. I love that you understand it. I always enjoy it because I learn more. My sons are my sons are big. My sons watch it. You know what? And I'll say this, I think EA Sports and FIFA, I think, has a big part of it in America. It's so fun to play on a PlayStation. I got into it.
Oh, dude,
and you start, it's awesome. And you start saying Iniesta, you start saying the names, like, who's this dude? Iniesta. The way they say it, it's very cool. And we're going to be watching it. Dude McBoob, I promise your ass, Dude McBoob, you will be up at whatever bar that Eminem has opened up lately. Your ass is going to be there in a USA fucking drinking fucking, fucking, what's the Boston lager beer? Sam Adams fucking chanting USA after they win their group. It does it every 4 years. They gain another 10%, 20% of popularity because it's awesome to watch. And when your country is representing, it's a big effing deal.
It's a big deal. It's the biggest World Cup. It's the biggest field they've ever had. It's the most expensive tickets. And listen, the 94 World Cup was the most grossing World Cup of all time, I believe. Yeah. And then now it's going to be this one because it's the United States of America. People want to come here and watch. And now the team is actually fucking halfway decent where they can compete. And there's a reason that these clubs like Inter Miami brings in a Messi, like, LAFC brings in a Song, and the Galaxy brought in Ibrahimovic and all of that, or LAFC, whoever the fuck it was.
Beckham.
Like, there's a reason that they bring those international stars here and pay them a fuck ton of money. And companies like Apple and Adidas chip in to pay these athletes because they want them here. So there's a market for it here. Although everyone who's 55 or older may not see it and understand it because you don't want to understand.
Yeah. So take it, Dude McBoob. We love you, man. You want to talk hockey? How do you see it going?
I think it's a great series. I think the Canes 2-2. The Canes tied it up 2-2. The pace just doesn't slow down, right? Like the pace just
has the overhit.
To me, what's so shocking about this series is such few shots on goal, yet we're getting so many goals.
Yeah,
like the goaltending hasn't been great, and that's kind of weird, especially in a Stanley Cup Finals. Listen, I said it before the series started. It is the Canes' time. If the Canes don't win it now, like there's just gonna be no chance going forward. Like Brenda Moore, this is your chance. Put the team together. You got the team to do it. Put it together. Going back home for Game 5, like it's I think it's I think I want the Canes to win. I hope the Canes win. But
you love Vegas. And you love Vegas. I love Rod Brindamore.
Both teams have played great. I think both rosters are really good. I think it's been a great Stanley Cup Finals. There's no doubt about it. I mean, listen, you saw that game, 3-1, 3-3,
4-0. We left Simi Valley 4-0. We're all into it. We're like, fuck, let's just go home. We come home. I'm putting shit away. And Sonny's like, Carolina tied it up. I'm like, college baseball? He's like, no, Dad, Carolina. It was 4-0, I believe, in the second period.
Yeah, and then it was 4-4, and Canes ended up coming back and winning.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're not on that, get on that.
It's been great. The NBA Finals. Listen, the games have been good. The last two games have been phenomenal. You know, this could be an all-time series. You get the Spurs to win tonight, and listen, it could be an all-time series. To be honest with you, you could have 7 games, and nobody's gonna bitch about these 7 games. Let's be honest.
No,
nobody's gonna bitch about it. It's been great basketball all around. You're getting defense. You're getting points. You're getting all of it. You're getting last minute. Wemby made a mistake. Fine, and the Knicks capitalized and they won the game. I mean, listen, you're getting great. The finals have been great. Both the NFL, the NHL and the NBA finals have both been great.
Can I say this, Rafa? I don't see a way that New York stole game 2. They stole it. And I think after what I've seen now, after 3 games, I don't know if New York can beat this team. Defensively, the Spurs look like they're on a different level, man. And I like the New York team. I like the piece. I like Champagne or whatever. I like them all. I like the pieces. I like Obi. I just don't know how they get it done. I really don't. I think the Spurs have figured something out every game, and they're getting better. They're so damn young. So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great series. We're in for a treat.
Yeah. Guys,
starting any minute now.
I don't know what Dupe said.
So did you hear a Chinese soccer player went to an American optometrist who told him you have a cataract? The Chinese soccer player responded to, "No, I derive a Winkin Sentinel."
A Rinkin Continental.
What he meant was, you have a cataract, which he's trying to say Cadillac.
We are the racist show of record.
Oh, we are the racist sports show of America.
Of record, yes.
And Dude McBoob has helped all of that narrative tonight. Yes. I didn't even need to throw out any racist jokes tonight.
No, we covered it all.
None
Dude,
at all.
We need you on our next podcast, which is going to start in about a little bit. I just want to thank everybody involved. Eddie, there's so much fucking content there. I don't know. You're going to have to work some overtime. But I just want to thank Rafa. Thank you, man, for coming on. I know you have something. If you love the shit talking, we're going to start our golf podcast in about a half an hour. We have a great guest coming on there. But last words, everybody. Eddie Money, any last words?
No, just I've been saying it, I think, like every week for the past 2 episodes. Great sports are happening. Make sure you guys are watching.
Yeah, man. Rafa?
Enjoy the World Cup. Don't take it for granted. You may not enjoy it. You may not like it. But if you like to go out and go to a bar and have a drink or whatever, go to a bar. You'll see that these games are going to be on. They're going to be rocking. You're going to see people from all sorts of the world that you've never seen, especially if you're near a host city, whether LA or Dallas or Tennessee or wherever that's hosting. Go to a bar there. Go to one of these watch parties that they have. You're going to enjoy it. Even if you're Dude McBoob and you say soccer sucks and you don't enjoy it, the World Cup is a different animal. It's great, and the U.S., Canada, and Mexico are all lucky to be hosting it.
And be nice. Don't be like the Knicks fans. Be nice. We're hosting. North America is a host. When you have someone in your house, you are gracious. You want to be inviting, right? Don't be an a-hole. These people are coming to our country. We want to show them that America is the best country in the world. Say hello. Yes, we're better than them, except for actually in football. But we're a host country. Be friendly, be nice, buy you a beer. I'm telling you, it's a ton of fun. Enjoy yourselves. And that's my last words, guys.
There's a foreign soccer player in my house. He obviously broke in. Nothing more exciting than a 0-0 tie.
I love
It
you, man.
depends if they shipped them over on a boat or not. Let's get out of here.
All right, guys. Love you guys. We'll see you
Peace.
next